This is your daily market review for Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Let's go. Hey everyone, this is my channel to help investors and traders develop a probability-based mindset to succeed. Also try and keep friends informed of what's going on in the markets and the economy, and also a little real estate content as well. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market review for Wednesday, August 2nd, 2023. Let's get into it. Now, one of the things that I've always talked about with the markets is when the door opens and people want to get out of the market, it's not wide enough at times. We've talked about that many a times. We've also said that at tops and at bottoms, there's going to be moments where traps, professional gaps happen, big moves happen when everybody's expecting the opposite. We've talked about this all week. Last week, everyone was anticipating the market to rise up into the Apple earnings. What happens overnight? We'll see credit downgrade from, whatever, it doesn't matter. Credit downgrade, market dumps. This is the thing about the market. This is what I talk about. If you have profits and you're long, the more you're up, the less you own. There's a reason why these rules are in place, because I've been caught in these positions where I think something's going to happen with certainty. Consensus builds, everyone believes the same, and then something comes out of nowhere. Nowhere. To change the market, change what's going on, to create a bottom, create a top, create traps. And this is the hardest part of trading, is that once you feel so confident you can't lose, you better start thinking that you can. And so humble pie served to a lot of folks today, bulls and bears, because I told bears as well, if you're dumping and unloading your shorts at the highs, you're not being patient. The evidence is building. That's swing trading. This isn't day trading. And so now that we can go through the charts, the confirmations, the professional gap downs, now what? The first dip will probably get bought. When does that start? We'll see. Let's get into it. Again, if you're new to the channel, check out the Discord room. Always here to help out. I appreciate all the love, all the sharing, subscribes, the donations, all that shit. It's awesome. Appreciate it. All right. Hit us up on Twitter. Always posting what we're thinking is going on, what's important. The 20 days key on a lot of things. Let's keep an eye on that. If you're newer to the channel, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Again, education series is also YouTube. It's also on my website, thetradingagent.com. If you want the 5.15% Marcus High Yield Savings Account, it's awesome. Hit me up. I'm telling you, do not get paid 0.15% at some crappy savings account with any traditional big bank. Blah, 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 blah. Getting through it. All right, let's read. Clearly, pause September, moving right along. Bitcoin, as we've talked about what seems like 100,000 times, you have a him and hers top, right? Head and shoulders top with a V and then a chop top. Now, if we break below 28,200, this thing could get absolutely wiped out. Maybe it comes into the trend line at some point. Who knows? Like, draw it however you may. I wouldn't own, just like gold, all this stuff. The best time to buy it will be when the Feds pivot. We're not there yet. Expecting volatility. Oil, tried to warn folks, said watch the levels, watch the areas. We got pretty damn close to the recent highs. Now, again, if you drew it perfectly, you hit the tops. We talked about taking profits. The more you're up, this is a huge month. 20% up in oil for the month. Huge. Profit taking, not surprised. Now you have a left-right combo, if you don't know what that is. So we have a green followed by like an indecision candle and then a red engulfing. And again, it can be flipped around for a bottom. But the last candle is the key, and having the indecisive candle in the middle. It's engulfing. Looks bearish. Nat gas. Leave it alone, little doggy. Leave it alone. All right. Again, I appreciate everybody. If you take a second, you love this information, hit the like button. Do me the favor. Trying to grow the channel, because there's a lot of people who need help in trading. There's so many people who think they figured it out. I'm telling you, this stuff is a constant learning. If you're not a student the rest of your life, as you're a trader, you will lose, because the market adapts. It's finding new ways to trick us. Okay, the dollar. We talked about this yesterday, getting over the 200-day, needing to see more of it. We're up against this little trend line. I noticed that today, and we bounced off of it. Dollar volatility is key. Up or down, I don't know, but I'd rather buy bonds, as we've talked about. If you started layering into the range lows, we talked about in the Discord room, if you have another gap, 1, 2, 3 gap trap, this is probably a good day to bottom. Now, keep in mind, that's a doji with high volume. We like it. We've said, and some of the folks on the Discord room said the same thing. There is a gap. Now, again, gaps in the TLT, not as important. Like, same thing with gold. but could it act as some sort of tractor beam? All these old like channel trend lines, all this confluence down here. If you started purchasing up here and then you bought some today, again, we talked about yesterday, I like those levels, but I didn't buy any. I bought some today in the mid 96s. I like it. But again, I anticipate it could go lower because we could be capitulating. Notice the volume. It's building down here. Define your risk. Have a plan. I'm telling you right now, think about when you start buying stocks when there is a bottom. This is the kind of stuff you're going to be looking for. Exhaustion. And this is the same stuff you see at the highs, right? The VIX. Sorry. Not excited about the market because I think a lot of people are just, I'm excited that I talked about this. This can take time. Said, watch this candle. Now you're over the 50-day bearish. If you were already short, this was the time to get in. Pick your names wisely. Define your risk. Now it moves and you want to short. This is where I'm going to tell you be careful because now the VIX is hitting the 100-day. That's the next resistance. Talked about the 20 days breaking. Well, look where the SPY is. Is this a professional gap down on high volume? It looks like it. But here's the key. The first dip will get bought at some point. If I had to take a guess, this area would be the first layer of support below the 20-day. Will we get down to the 50-day? I don't know. But I'd look at this area here and then a rally back to the 20-day. The 20-day usually breaks, and then what do? Right? You back up to it, right? You break, you back up, you go a little higher. You back up to it, right? Does this make sense? You break it, you back up later, then go. So if you're looking for shorts, using the 20-day as a good reference point, but if you're adding today at these levels, I don't think that's the right play. You should have shorted the open as high as possible and also just wait. Because again, you had all this time to short markets, depending on the name where it was. Here you go. Expect a bounce, then and only then would I add in. And if I'm wrong, well, guess what? That happens sometimes, but I'm telling you, we're playing the probabilities. We're not playing the gamble game. Q, same thing. Lower highs, we talked about this breaking at some point. First support, I think y'all know where it's at. We kind of filled it today, gap. Could it rally with Apple a little bit? Maybe hit the 8-day? Maybe there's like a little flag here that the market wants to play. Again, all this stuff is just guesses, right? Guessing. If you're short from the high, you've got good trade location. Trade around it. Be patient. And also, again, layer in, layer out. Layering into trades. Short. Add short. Now you probably wait for a bounce to short. And if it doesn't, great. And then you still got good positions. But at this point, just keep in mind, there's always going to be bounces. And so you don't want to chase. And if there isn't, that's okay too. And you've got partial positions, but you have to be thoughtful. You can't destroy your cost basis by shorting emotionally as something is falling. The same thing as chasing up at the highs. Like, it's no good. So if this helps, please leave a comment below. I appreciate it. It's all mindset here. IWM, talked about it, double topping. There you go. Dio said holding up well, right? Retesting some old areas up here. Notice this, 350s, we talked about it. Another gap down, higher volume, failure. Gold, it should be on fire, right? Credit downgrade. Told you guys, I'm telling you guys, the best time to buy gold when the Feds pivot. If you took your profits, we talked about, man, I don't even know, brag. Again, I'm not bragging, but just trying to explain, like, I've been trading gold for 20 years. It's very similar. Second quarter is usually crap for gold. There's always a July rally, and then usually you go nowhere, August, September, potentially into the end of the year. Gold, leave it alone. I would love to see it come down. Silver, talked about it, hitting the range highs, failure. Not good. This blue zone, failure. New lows, ugly. Silver leads gold. Miners lead silver. Junior miners lead miners. Look at the GDX. We said if it breaks the 200-day, game over. Now you better hold the 28, 29 area. It's like a monster head and shoulders with a camelback. Be careful, okay? I told you, the best time to buy miners is, again, when the Feds pivot. They will absolutely destroy these things. There was members in the Discord room who were literally teeing up GDX, Dust, all these shorts. They didn't do it. Why? I don't know. Again, they watched too much fear porn telling them you have to buy gold. No, you don't. These assets get liquidated like everything else in the market. Maybe not as bad as the market, but again, they throw the baby out with the bathwater. We've said that 1,000 times. GDXJ breaking the 200-day. Goodbye. Potentially. Leave it alone. AG. We talked about this bouncing up in the 6 range. Nice bounce. Coming back. Failure. Sorry, 6-7 range. AEM. Not bad. Been holding up really well. Did anyone see what I'm seeing? Let me draw this for you. I mean, do you want to draw it like this? You can draw it like a back test up there. I was thinking more of this. Keep an eye on that. I mean, you could draw it. I mean, here, you can pull this too. Remember, trend lines are just, kind of artificial. Keep that in mind. They're subjective, right? Are we breaking it now? I mean, miners. We've talked about another thing, a reason why biggest miner in the world, Newmont, acting like crap. All the other ones are up here and the metals are up near the highs. This has been absolutely dog pass. Another one that popped and flopped at some perceived resistance. I guess. I don't know. Just leave them alone. Let's get into tech. Because again, if you short these stuff, let it run. Absolutely let the miners run. Manage it. If you're not, well, you didn't listen, you missed, and that's okay. There's always another trade. Don't feel like you got to do something. Taiwan Sen, we said head and shoulders top. This is dead at some point. Starting to look like it's dying. You can see the levels that matter. You stretch them over. Either way, this thing's done, in my opinion. Blow off top. Look how long it took to just play with people. All these people bought up here. Market makers unloaded probably in this liquidity. See you later. Micron. Nice work. Discord room member friends. Talked about this trade very easy. Watch this gap. Talked about the trap with earnings. Like everyone bought puts and then it rallied into the July FOMC or OPEX. Oops. If you waited, you scored. AMD. We talked about the earnings are not good. Look at this reaction. This is not bullish. We talked about this being the final high. Within height. And look at today's action. Gaps up. If you got after hours in the 122 plus, loving it. Da. Now watch this 105 area. Watch the 100-day. You see it. You see it. You see it. It matters. Keep it simple, stupid. NVIDIA. Oh, righty then. Breaking the 20-day. Channel low. You bet your... Keep an eye on it. Again, all these look like shorts on pops, y'all. Intel, double top, professional. We talked about this being a Go watch that video of the day of this. I said this is scary. Because if this candle now is the following one, watch what happens. Uh-oh. Again, retail. Who owns Intel? Retail. Retail loves Intel. SMH, double top, breaking the 20-day. But again, I would watch this 152, 150 area at the 50-day. Any pounce. I mean, these things are now shorts. Adobes. Novice gap trap. Yep. Apple. Earnings are coming. It's going to save the market. Phone sales, chip sales for Qualcomm showing you what? Apple phone sales are down a lot. Oops. 20-day. We'll see what happens. Again, earnings is a complete crapshoot. Be careful. Amazon. Talked about another one coming in earnings. If you could get up here, failure, watch the 50-day. Again, all these that are going through earnings, if you're short and you got great trade location, great. I would just make sure you hedge because if they do the opposite, you can take advantage because they're probably popping traps, right? Well, like AMD. They'll pop and then they'll fail. That's my guess. CRM, again, another one. CEO sells $100 million worth. Then here, people buy it like some idiots. Novice gap trap takes days. I mean, look at that. Another, like a doji at the high. During 20-day, 50 days, clearly very important. Keep an eye on it. GOOG. People got mad at me. He's like, oh, you're shorting. You're going to fail. And I'm like, it filled the gap. Watch these candles. We talked about professional gap. Now, back-to-back gapper. This is a novice gap at an extreme. Just takes time. You just don't. This is what's so hard about swing trading. Again, take a minute. Hit the like bell button for me. And remember this fact. Just because you have a novice gap doesn't mean it has to turn around that day, that week, whatever. You hope it's like this, but look at this. You came right back. Here you go. A novice gap, then a professional gap. I'm telling you, gaps at extremes don't always resolve that day. People just never listen. But it's whatever. Yeah, if you want to survive, you're going to have to figure this out. Meta fills the gap. Novice gap trap. Watch the 20-day. Again, Threads is a complete waste. It's a loser. Great. Again, this whole company is a joke. Whatever. Microsoft, we talk about this being the blow-off top on their subscription model. Game over. Again, oops. NDAQ said this is done. Tech is not going to be the asset of choice to trade in the next bull market. Just telling you, if you don't know why, go watch the past videos. Watch who wins the trade war. Or who wins the war in trade war coming up. Who wins the basically battle of the next bull market. It's not tech. Tech is going to be ruined by inputs. Because remember, tech by nature is deflationary. Well, input costs will continue to rise. These companies' margins will go to shit. They always do. It's cyclical. MicroStrategy. Talked about it. Shorting pops. You're welcome. Alrighty then. Breaking the 20-day. You know what to do. Netflix. Some people were talking about shorting it up here. I get it. Head and shoulders top. Would really like to see the 450 range, but you know what? You didn't get that. You shorted on the pops. Looking good. Watch the 50-day breaks. Yeah. See you later. Good old Roblox. 200-day. Fail. I mean, we talked about range highs. Again, all this evidence of stocks doing certain things and getting choppy. And yeah, we talked about in the commodity, like the other sectors, but tech is now starting to lag. We said once tech started lagging, QQQ started lagging, be on red alert. Be on red alert. Red alert. Tesla talked about any pop was a short. Again, this thing is toast. You have to remember, when you break out of a downtrend trap, you usually respond by going back to the downside of the channel. Now, that's pretty damn extreme, but if you're short up here, I mean, you'll probably see a 100 and something handle at some point. Be thankful. Be appreciative. Take some time. I don't know why I keep saying it. Someone's like, keep saying hit the like button all the time. I'm like, yeah, sure, whatever. Hit the like button, subscribe. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. This is a lot of stuff going on here in this brain of mine with a lot of knowledge, and no one's giving this away for free. And I don't mind at all because I can trade it myself. And I hope you're doing well. If you have questions, you need help, do not hesitate to reach out. This stuff is hard. It's hard to change. It's hard to figure this out. It's hard to trade and win. Most people don't. It's hard to lose well. People don't know what that means, right? So keep an eye. Tesla, I mean, this thing's toast. Letter X. Get through commodities quickly. Chopping. 2 or 3 China stimuluses. Not going anywhere. Nucor. Again, let them throw the baby out the bathwater. All these names. Great. Holding up pretty well. Keep an eye on it. Caterpillar. Blow off top. Absolutely. Multi-day range. Look at today's candle. Doji. Uh-oh. Left-right combo coming. If you shorted today's pop, you're lucky when you love this close because, again, this feels like a very big novice gap trap. Left-right combo. Big green. Big red. Sorry, Doji, big red coming. And if not, then it'll be choppy for a couple days, and just expect that. VALE, another global growth name. Pops, hits the 200-day. Global growth, my ass. Arrow, it's global slowdown. It's happening. Blows out the top. Again, we like this, but we said watch out. You see high volume at highs and lows? That's exit liquidity. Or entry liquidity, depending on your exit. Sorry, I was like thinking about them. If you, depending on trade location, if at the bottom it's entrance liquidity, essentially. CCJ earnings came out. Again, does it matter? Not a bad candle. Not a bad close considering the crappiness of today's action, but I wouldn't trust that. Is that a professional gap? A novice gap filled by a professional gap? I know that's a doji, but if I'm owning CCJ, I mean, if I was Kathy Woods, I'd be selling a ton of cover calls against my stock. Absolutely. CF, again, we like these ag names. We told you they hit all upper range bounds. Expect them to start doing what? Pull on back, hits the 200-day, Mosaic. They held up pretty well today. Again, I love ag long-term. Ooh, I don't like that candle. I think they had earnings. Yeah, they did. That's not a good reaction to earnings. Go check out the 10-minute. Actually, never mind. I'll just show you. Look at the close on Mosaic. Somebody was just dumping. And I'm telling you, like, light a candle, dumping. NTR, another one. Talked about hitting upside ranges. We'll see what happens. AA, another global growth name on fire. Wrong. Going nowhere fast. Financials, we told you, watch out. Got to give credit to the people in Discord room thought it'd get over 35. Now you're making new lows. I know it's a doji. Essentially watch the 20-day in this confluence of this box. Come on. Can you draw? Bueller, watch that. Breaks into that. Goodbye. JP Morgan. Again, some people took the wild route trying to short up here. Now you have a professional gap. Look for pops. These things are short. If you shorted Morgan Stanley at 95, you didn't even get a chance to get a retest. This is what you love. Goodbye. And now be careful. Could it be short-term oversold with that gap? Maybe. But if the market melts, see ya, going lower. Goldman, we talked about getting stuck up here. Looks like a great short. KRE holding up pretty well today, naturally, right? Like there's a huge short interest, wasn't it? And people are thinking banks, higher interest rates. Talked about this being the capitulation. If you see a 49 handle on this, I think you're short it with reckless abandon. Actually, just tight stops. XBI, another one that should be up. Baby Bio, failing 82. Going nowhere. Fast. All right, let's blast through it. Tan, I told you solar was trash. Nobody's going to give me any credit. No one's going to give me any credit. Told you solar is absolute trash. We gap below it. Now, it's just, again, it's not that long term. It's solar just gets smoked in these cycles. I'm telling you, they rise up and then they get absolutely crushed. And just whatever. ENPH. Sedge misses, or not even Sedge misses. I mean, their earnings were reaction just as bad, gap down. I mean, this said this thing could go to 100, but it's just where do you want to short it, right? I don't know. If you're already short it, awesome. But solar junk, people get really mad. It's like, I'm not against green. I'm just, these companies just don't do well. Sedge, we talked about shorting on the pops. It's holding the range lows, breaks the 190. I mean, check out the monthly. This just looks so bad. Check this out. Like if you break this area, I mean, I don't even know what support. 143. These companies, I mean, if you don't know the past, they can get absolutely destroyed. First Solar, I mean, we talked about, showed this in the recap yesterday. Look at this. I'm telling you guys, these things get just destroyed. Oh, high flyer, kapow. 320 down to what? A whopping $12. Now, again, will that happen? I don't know. It depends on oil prices, a lot of things. But if you short it up here, you are just patiently waiting. We talked about that earnings pop was crap. You're welcome. HYG, we talked about this failing off the range highs. You're welcome. Breaking the trend, I don't know. Until we break below 72.60, it's probably just, it's hard to know. Good old oil and gas. We said take profits the more you're up. USO hits the little gappy. I don't really care about it. Again, these ETFs deteriorate, but then just watching because I think there will be good opportunities to buy them. That's why they're still on the chat. UNG, told you leave it alone. XOP, you're welcome. Said 143 area probably be the max upside because we do some drawings. Look at it perfectly. Left few took profits. Good. ExxonMobil, talked about it needs to break 100. Chopping, you got the range highs up here in the 107, 108. Looks like it's failing. Occidental. An Occident hits the 200-day covered call king. Warren Buffett's out there selling them probably endlessly. PXD, I think they had earnings, nice little gap up, but look at this today's action. That is not bullish, y'all. Looks very exhaustive after a night's run. EQT and Flex LNG. We talked about EQT looking good, but this is a trap. Fake breakout, break below the 20-day, 50-day confluence. Man, this thing could get oil and gas. Again, all these names could get smoked. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. Remember, liquidations, institutions get redemptions, hedge funds have to sell. It doesn't matter. They have to sell strength and weakness, y'all. Keep that in mind. They got to pay people back or they have to pay back debts. That's what happens. Flex LNG, love this name. High dividend yield. Congress is buying a ton of it. Let it play out. All right, if you have any questions, please reach out. I appreciate all the love, support, donations. If you're not doing well, you're struggling, I get it. Times are tough in trading at times, and meaning like at the highs and the lows, it's going to be incredibly frustrating. There's going to be times where you're early and you get stopped out, and that's part of trading. If you can't recognize the patterns and how to mitigate losses, you're doomed to fail and repeat it. Trust me, I know, I've done it. All right, talk to you guys and gals later. Peace. Hey, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, stop by the Discord room. A link is in the description below. Also, if you'd like to help support more free content, the PayPal link is in the description as well. I appreciate your continued support of the channel.